So let's start by installing Redux and React Redux. So I'll quit the npm start process and I'll simply run npm install -- save Redux and React Redux. Hit enter to install these two packages so that we can use them here and can conveniently access our Redux store in the React application. Once this is finished, you can of course restart your build process and the development server with npm start to see your lovely application again. Now, with both installed, it's of course about time to again create our store, the reducer, and the actions. For that, I'll again reintroduce a folder directly in the source folder, which I'll name store. And in there, I'll add a new file, reducer.js, and of course actions.js, because I want to export my actions as constants to again prevent me from mistyping or introducing some errors just because I try to hardcode strings in multiple files. So therefore, let's now start with the basic action types we'll probably need. If we start with the burger builder and really the core functionality of building that burger, we can dive into the burger builder container and have a look at the methods we created there. We got a add ingredient handler and we got a remove ingredient handler. These of course are the two main things we do, add ingredients and remove ingredients. So therefore we probably want appropriate actions. Export a constant which we'll name add ingredients and assign a string with the same value, add ingredients, and then duplicate it to also create the respective action for removing ingredients. And actually, we can name it add ingredient, remove an ingredient, because we never add more than one or remove more than one at a time. So we got these two actions. And before we add more, let's start with these. Let's build up the store with these, and then let's add more and more functionality over the next lectures. Next, let's implement or start implementing our reducer. There I will import everything as action types from this actions.js file. Then I'll create a constant initial state to define what my state should look like initially. And in there, we probably want to have the same state we already use in the burger builder. There, if we scroll up, we got of course a lot of fields. Now I said I want to start with ingredients and the total price. So let's copy these two and move them over into the reducer. So now we got ingredients and total price there too in the initial state. Then we can create the reducer itself. A function simply, maybe stored in a constant named reducer, using the ES6 function syntax where we get the state, which is set to initial state, initially in case we get undefined as a state, which we do the first time this runs. And then let's also add the action, which we'll also receive here. Now, at the end of everything, I of course also want to export my reducer as the file default. Now, we'll of course have to fill this reducer with some life. We'll do so in the next lecture. Before we do that, let's set up the state management in the index.js file, where we wrap our entire application. And there we already see something interesting. We already do wrap our application here with the browser router. That of course can lead to confusion, or maybe it is something we haven't looked at before. Where should we now add our provider component from React Redux? Inside of the browser router or outside? Let's set this up together in the next lecture.